say Sharon. Thank you. We also have Sharon Hopkins on today, who is the Ohio University Apex Accelerator Program Director. She is on the call, lending her expertise. So as we go through the presentation, my colleague Shonda Harris will be monitoring the chat, but we will try to get to your questions as we go. So without further ado, Karen, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Jill. Good morning, everybody. Yes, my name is Karen Wyville. I am the Associate Director for the Central Ohio region of the Ohio Apex Accelerator at Ohio University. And I'm very honored to be here today to talk to everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off my video and we'll get started. First, I'm going to explain what Apex Accelerator is. Apex Accelerator is a grant-funded entity. We receive funding from the Department of Defense's Small Business Office, the state of Ohio, and here in Central Ohio and in most of the state, also from Ohio University. And all that means is that all of our services are free to you, our business community that we serve. Our services include helping you identify agencies that might buy your goods and services. We offer a free daily bid matching service that utilizes the codes and keywords of the goods and services that you provide and looks for opportunities for you to bid on. There's over 3,000 websites across the country that we search on a daily basis at all levels of government, federal, state, and local. We help you find those opportunities. We can also assist you in being a prime contractor, bidding directly to the government, or as a subcontractor, meaning you're doing work with working for another firm who's doing that work. We help you with a SAM registration. That is one registration that is required to do work in the federal government space. But there are numerous other registrations that might be needed for you to be able to bid on and receive government contracts at various agencies at all levels, and we can assist you with that as well. We help you develop a marketing strategy utilizing market research tools. We teach you how to use market research tools. We have numerous ones ourselves, which I'll go over in a little bit. We help you with the various certifications, 8A, HubZone, Veteran Service Disabled, Women-Owned. We partner a great deal with our folks at the SBA. We can also work with partners in helping you with the state of Ohio certifications, local certifications. We help you understand the government solicitations that get posted, running through and reading through all the government legalese that's in there and help you understand if it's the right process for you. We can even cross-check your bid before you submit it, making sure all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed, try to give you guidance. We can't tell you how good your proposal is. We can just try to make sure you haven't forgotten something so it gets disqualified, try to give you some guidance on putting it together. We can't even write it for you, but we will try to guide you through the process. Some of the opportunities, I know someone was asking about grants. The one set of grants that we can assist you with are called SBIR and STTR. These are innovation grants that are in the federal space where they're looking for folks to develop new technology. We offer a live training workshops on this series. We're partnering with the Columbus District SBA. We also currently have a program on helping businesses with their cybersecurity standards with the Defense Department called CMMC. If that is a space for you, we can help guide you through the process to make sure your cybersecurity standards are up to snuff. And right now we have a free program to help you do that. These are some of the websites that we assist you with, sam.gov. The DIBS board with the Defense Logistics Agency, Ohio Buys, numerous others. These are some of the market research tools that the state of Ohio has paid for us to have that helps us do a lot of that deep dive market research for you as a client. USA Spending is one of the ones we teach you to use, which is open to the public. This is a map of our entire it still says PTAC because I don't have an updated map yet, Apex Accelerator now. We used to be called PTAC, but this is an updated map of where all of our offices are located. You will see we cover the entire state of Ohio. There is an Apex Accelerator to help you. This is our websites here. If you aren't registered as a client with Apex, you can go in and log in and register as a client at one of these websites. Or if you're not here in Ohio, this is our national website at the end where it can help you find other Apex accelerators in the country. But we're here today to learn about, now that you've gotten registered in SAM, what do you do next? And our first key thing that we like to hone in on is a capability statement. A capability statement is vital for you to have when you're going out there and presenting yourself to government buyers and prime contractors how to market your business. So some of the things we're going to go over today are what the uses are, the capability statement, what are the important elements that you need to have, and how do you make sure your capability stands out from the crowd? So first of all, a capability statement, what it is serves as your door opener. It's your introduction to government agencies. A lot of times they'll be doing market research. They want to know what kind of business out there can do what I need them to do. A capability statement explains what you do. Oftentimes you'll see it as a required element in a bid solicitation. So having one at the ready so you can submit your bid is a very important thing. What are the elements of a capability statement? There are some specific things we like to point out. Number one, you're going to want to call it a capability statement, and then it's going to have these important areas. And these are sections that you're going to need to put together based on your business. One is a core competency section. One is past performance. One is differentiators. And the last and not least and most important is your company data. I'm going to go over each section. Calling it a capability statement. Yes, call it a capability statement, but you still need to make it match your corporate branding. If you have a logo, make sure it includes your logo. Make sure it matches your website, your marketing materials, your business cards. Create that cohesive approach to your business and tie your capability statement into that. Make sure your business name, your business address, your website, make sure that's on the sheet. It's important to have. Core competencies. Now, this is where we talk about what you do. So you're going to headline the section, core competencies. This is where you're going to be explaining what your company does, and you need to focus on what your company does best. As you can imagine, with the federal marketplace being as large as it is, there's a lot of competition. So knowing your business, knowing what you're good at, makes you pull out what those key components are on what your company does best so you can market to the appropriate agency. And yes, you want to target your competencies to the audience. And I've seen a lot of companies that might do a lot of different things, but not every buyer is going to buy everything that you do. So you're going to want to, when you're sending this to someone, you are putting it as a response, make sure you include the competencies that match what the audience is looking for. You want to be very specific, really brief to the point. Focus on what the keywords are that are most important to the buyer, the potential buyer of your goods or services. A lot of verbiage and a lot of fluff words, those key points are going to get lost to the reader, and they might fluff right over it and miss an important point. So I actually like to encourage my clients to use bullet points and bolding out your keywords on what those goods and services are that you offer makes it easier for the reader to find it, because as you can imagine, that these government buyers get a lot of these. Make sure it's easy for them to find out what it is exactly you do and that it matches what they are looking for. Past performance section is proof you can say you can do. So again, label that section of your capability statement past performance. You're going to provide a brief description of the projects that you've done that relate to the opportunity or the type of buyer that you're marketing to. You're going to include a description of the work, who you did it for, and if possible, contact information. Think of this as your reference section of a resume. Make sure that the work that you provide, again, matches the core competencies, matches what the buyer is looking for. And if your work you have doesn't pertain to the opportunity you're looking at or the buyer that you're marketing to, don't include it because they could care less. They want to know that you have performed on the work that they're looking for and be very targeted in the information that you provide. So I provided a little bit of an example where you were the prime contractor. Now, again, this can be a government agency, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a commercial business that you've done work for. So I said you did work directly for this company. I like to say if you can add a little bit about how you help that company with that project, that's another sell point for you. And then talk about the contract and not necessarily maybe the dollar amount, but the size, because the government is going to want to look for how big of a contract can you handle. And they often will look at how big a contract you've handled in the past to give them that gauge if you're capable of doing the work that they're wanting you to do. And then again, if you can get a contact reference for that contract that you did, again, government or commercial, try to include that. Again, think references. Now, if you were a subcontractor on a large project, make sure you state that you were the prime, you were a subcontractor, and then again, provide the similar services. Now, if you did the work as an employee, but it was highly specialized work, you had a lot of skill level, and that's the only past performance you can give, still state it, but make sure you state that you did the work as an employee of the firm that held the contract. And again, what was the benefit that you brought to that contract? And then the reference that you could provide. What don't you want to use? If the past project doesn't relate at all to what you're looking for or you're marketing to, then don't include it because it's just fluff. They want to know what you've done for what I'm looking for. And then if there isn't a reference available, if that person left the company or what have you, then don't include it. Sometimes government agencies get a little iffy about providing their contact information. If that's the case, then don't include it. But still, you can make sure you can still include that work that you did. Now, differentiators, that's the one subject of the capability statement that I found a lot of my small businesses struggle with because they're really good at doing what they do, but sometimes not good at communicating how awesome they are. But differentiators is the unique feature or the benefit that you bring to the table. What is it that your product or service that sets you apart? Why should they buy from you? How are you going to make their life easier by doing work with you versus the competition versus somebody they've been doing work with for years? What's the benefit you bring to the table that you're going to make their life a lot better by working with you? So some thinking points to get you going on thinking about this. One of the easiest things to think about is who's your biggest customer? There is a reason they keep coming back to you over and over and over again. If you don't know, find out why. Do some SWOT analysis on your competition. Figure out where those points are, what makes you stand out. Some other things like what types of certifications do you have? What types of educational background? What is some certain expertise? Is it a pricing? Is it your warranties? There could be on products. It could be all sorts of things, and you need to think about that. Another point is if you're a service-related business or even a product-related, if your business is located closer to the buyer, that could be a real benefit because your product or service can be provided a lot more quickly than someone dealing with someone who isn't in a local market. So again, this is just some thinking points for you to get you started on differentiators. And it's okay to brag about yourself. Don't be afraid to do that. It's important. They need to know why they should buy from you. Again, how are you going to, you're solving a problem. You're their problem solver. What problem are you solving and why are you the best solution? And these are just some thinking points to get you in that direction.
Karen?
Yeah.
We have a few questions.
Sure.
And instead of me fielding, some of these are good and I think they could be great for all the participants. So let me just ask a couple of them. Will a company need to develop a capability statement for each opportunity, or is this just a one-time deal or one-time need that they would need to create one?
This is a living and breathing document to me. So I think it's always, always important to have a capability statement targeted to your audience. And I have some some tips that I'm going to use to help you target it. So you might want to come up with a general one, but if I also say, always, always revise it. Just like you revise your resume back when you were looking for jobs and you're getting out of school, revise it. You want to bring in the skill set, the products, the services the government buyer is looking for. So I say, you can create a template, but always revise the content to target who you're marketing to. Does that answer?
Yes, thank you. I'll go through a couple more. Should they include pictures of their work on their capability statement?
If pictures can make something visually appealing. It can make you stand out. Just make those pictures relevant to the content that you're talking about. And, make sure it doesn't interfere with the message that you're trying to communicate. It can enhance and better communicate what you're trying to say, that why you're the best solution. Does it help communicate that? Then use it, just like your logo.
Great response. Thank you. This is a good one. Because we have a variety of individuals that are on that may be new at government contracting and some that may be more experienced. Mm-hmm. But what if someone is just getting started? How do they address their past performance if they don't really have any?
So that's where I'm going to go back to here. So there was a reason that you did your business, that you started your business. You must have had somewhere in your life that you were an expert, or you knew somebody, or something that you can say that you have expertise in delivering what you say you're going to deliver. Now, let's say you're a product reseller and you've never sold that product. I'm going to recommend, before you go into the government space, building some past performance on proving that you can deliver.
Okay. What if your only references are residential work and not commercial?
Then you can perhaps go ahead and still use them as a good reference that you did that amount of work. So I'm going to guess, is this construction or cleaning? Just proof that you've been doing that kind of work, and they can contact them that you did a good job.
Okay, great. And the last one for now, where do you put the capability statement? Do companies just send it out to the agencies who they're bidding with, or?
Well, I'm going to go over who you're going to send it to here in just a couple minutes.
Okay. All right. Thanks. That's it for now.
Okay. Okay. So again, what makes you different from the competition, and how are you going to benefit the buyer? This differentiating section, I know I'm going to be saying this over and over again. Shorten to the point, focus it on the needs of the buyer, highlight the benefits to your customer, and incorporate specifics. And I'm going to talk about what not to do on my next slide. And these are some of my pet peeves. What differentiators are not? They're not your certifications. There is a space for your certifications, but that's not a differentiator. A differentiator is how good you are at what you do. Don't use generic statements. And one of my least favorite is like some of those listed before, that you're best in class, you're an industry leader, you provide outstanding customer service. You're quality committed. Anybody can say that. What is it that makes you best in class? Provide proof. What is your outstanding customer service? That's what I see a lot. What makes your customer service outstanding? And I worked with a client not too long ago where we were talking about that, where he had a system in place. If you called his customer service line, even if they were off duty, they had a voicemail and they guaranteed a response within 24 hours. That's providing a specific on their customer service. Quality committed. Do you have a quality control plan? If you're a manufacturer, are you ISO certified? What's the quality plan that you have in place to ensure that you're best in class? Did you receive an award? Industry leader, are you #1 in sales in your region? You know, be specific, don't be general, but and put something in there that anybody could say, because they're just going to fluff over that. Yeah, I've heard that a million times. Show me the proof. Proof's in the pudding, as my mom used to say. So this is the last section, and this is where your socioeconomic certifications come into play. This is where you're going to list those. In the federal space, you're going to list your UEI and your CAGE code. You're going to list the NAICS codes or the product or service codes that apply. Now, if you're marketing to the state of Ohio, they don't care about those. They care about what your UNSPSC codes. They care if you're MBE or EDGE or DBE or VBE or WBE. They care about those certifications. Include, again, tailor it. Tailor the codes, tailor the certifications that correspond to the audience that you're talking to. Tailor it. It makes you seem that you know what you're doing. Now, again, summary of your awareness, your stability, your financial performance. This is also in your company data. So especially if you're new, if you're coming in with a strong financial position, you know, some of the things that will make you stand out. Always make sure that you've got somebody's name, somebody's email, and their office phone number on there so the government buyer or prime contractor can reach out to them and get more information on your firm. Some ideas on making it its appearance. You want to make it clean. Someone was asking about pictures. Don't overwhelm it. Don't use lots of colors and fonts. Make it really clear. Think about color backgrounds. I point this out. Some people are colorblind. So think about utilizing the colors not utilizing those colors to make it easy for them to read the text, reading the message that you're trying to get across. Make it really crisp and to the point, not a lot of fluff. I recommend organizing it with the section headers that we've listed. Again, making sure it matches your corporate look and includes your logo. And then you want it in 2 forms. One as a PDF, so you can email it. The other in print when you're meeting with people in person. Now, I've had some people that handed me laminated capability statements. That's expensive to do. You don't need to do something like that. Just print it on nice paper that isn't see-through, has a little substance. It doesn't even need to be on cardstock, just nice paper. So it's, you know, holds up on them carrying it around and bringing it back to their office. And the colors don't bleed. You know what I mean? Make it crisp, and you're going to want it in those 2 formats. Now, here's some helpful hints on helping you tailor. This is what I did this. Success stories. We call them success stories. When you're pulling together your past performance, what an agency I used to work for, every time we completed a project, I wrote a success story. I talked about who the project was for, what the dollar amount is for, and exactly what we did. And then I kept a folder on my computer with each of these projects that our agency completed. And then when we were if we needed it to market, I had a library of success stories that I could pull in to target what the audience I was talking for. You can organize it by project type, put the date on it, because a lot of times when you're doing your past performance, you usually don't want to go past 3 or 5 years, so make sure you date them. But it's a great way for you to tailor your capability statement and not have to rewrite it and think about, oh my God, what did I do? You've got a library right there. You can just copy and paste it into your capability statement to tailor it. Do research on the agency or contractor that you're reaching out to before you put your capability statement and contact them. There are those market research tools that you can utilize. Reach out to your Apex Accelerator specialist and we'll help you figuring out that agency. Don't waste their time. Don't market to them on something that they don't use. You know, that's not going to leave a good impression of your company. Doing a little research beforehand on the agency, making sure you've got that library of past performance, the competencies, the differentiators that would stand out in that market is going to be really important. This is a little sample of a capability statement template that I email out to my clients. Again, not as necessarily something that you have to make it look like this, but I've got some of my thinking points that I've put in there in my presentation into this. Just some ideas about past performance, differentiates core competencies, your corporate data, again, logo, calling and a capability statement. Now, you're already registered in SAM, but one of the really important things when you're putting together your capability statement is making sure your SAM profile is accurate and up to date. Again, making sure your SAM is active before you reach out to a government buyer. You have to renew your SAM registration every year. It's not a one and done deal. So going in and making sure your SAM registration is active and reach out to that federal buyer. Don't reach out before you know your SAM registration is active, because unless you're active, they can't buy from you. So that's an important step, making sure your SAM registration is active. This is the SAM website. Again, making sure it's active, but here's something else I want to make sure. Make sure in your SAM registration, you have the NAICS codes in your SAM registration that are accurate and reflected in your capability statement. And that if you're responding to a solicitation, pay attention to the NAICS code that they've attached to that solicitation. Make sure you have that NAICS code in your capability statement. Make sure you have that NAICS code in your SAM registration. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the contract. You got to make sure it's on there and make sure it's accurate. So that's why I talk about SAM here. Review it. Now, here's where we talk about the federal certifications. You are certified, in essence, as a small business through your SAM registration. And it's based on your NAICS codes and then your, in either your annual sales or your number of employees, and that varies by NAICS code. It'll tell you within your SAM registration if they considered you a small business. Other set-asides, once you're there as a small business, you can apply for 8A, HUBZone, women-owned or economically disadvantaged women-owned, service-disabled veteran-owned or veteran-owned. These are the set-aside percentages. 23% set aside for small business. Of that, these are subsets of the 23%. 5% for SDB 8A, 3% for HUBZone, 5% for women-owned or economically disadvantaged, 3% for service-disabled veteran. Other agencies might have sole contracting goals. Now, the VA, if you're a veteran-owned, they are the only agency that has set-asides just for veteran-owned, meaning you don't have the service disability rating, but you're veteran-owned. You can get, there are veteran-owned set-asides with the VA. These are, I feel weird talking about 8A when I've got my 8A experts on the phone here with SBA. But 8A is the set-aside program where you must be 51% owned and controlled by a socially and economically disadvantaged individual who is a U.S. citizen. You must not have been previously in the 8A program. You must have a personal net worth of $850,000 or less, adjusted gross income of $400,000 or less, total assets $6.5 million or less, good character, potential for success. And then once you get into the 8A program, unlike 8A and other programs, it is a 9-year program. So you really want to do your market research before you apply. Right now, 8A is on hold. What you can do now for this is you can go into SAM. If you would qualify for 8A, make sure in your SAM registration, you're marked. There's a spot where you can mark, are you an SDB firm? You can self-certify within SAM as an SDB. But right now, applications for 8A are on hold due to some recent rulings in the Supreme Court. And they're looking at this, and I'm sure Shonda and Jill can talk more about this. If you're, it's a good program. Hopefully they'll be starting to accept new applications again soon. Wonderful program. But right now, the only thing you can do is self-certify within SAM as a small disadvantaged business. HubZone. HubZone is a program for businesses who are located in a historically underutilized business zone, in essence, an area of high unemployment and low income. Based on census tract, it gets reevaluated every few years. Again, you must be 51% owned by a U.S. citizen. The business must be located in a hub zone, and 35% of your employees must also live in a hub zone, although that does not have to be in the same hub zone as the business. It could be any hub zone. It's a 3% set-aside contract government-wide for hub zone related businesses. They can also restrict competition only to hub zone certified businesses. Another bonus of the HubZone program is if you were a HubZone certified firm and the winner of a contract was a large business, and you were number two, a 10% price evaluation process preference comes into play, and you could, even though you weren't the number one bidder, that price differential can bring you to the top. And I've had a HubZone business in my prior life in Cleveland that got a lot of contracts because of that HubZone price evaluation. It helped them compete against the larger firms. There is a HubZone map that the SBA provides. You can put in your business address and find out, number one, are you located in a HubZone? And if you are, check 1. Check 2 is putting in the addresses of your business. Now, if you are a sole member, one-person business, guess what? That employee is you. If it's you and one other, then that means one of you has to be in a hub zone. Again, remember, it's at 35% of your employees. If you have 3 of you in the business, 2 of you are going to have to be in the hub zone. You have to meet that 35% threshold. Women-owned. Again, 51% owned and controlled by one or more women who are U.S. citizens. You must manage the day-to-day operations. It's a 5% set-aside goal. Unlike the other programs, it is designated to only certain industries based on your NAICS code. So you can go to the SBA website, look at the NAICS codes, look at what you got registered in SAM. Are there set-asides for women-owned small business or economically disadvantaged women-owned small business in your NAICS codes? Economic disadvantage, similar threshold to the 8A. So if you're applying for economically disadvantaged women-owned small business, you're going to have to provide a lot of information on your net worth to make sure you match all these economic thresholds other than being a woman and being in charge of the day-to-day operations. If you are a veteran, the veteran certification program recently switched over to the SBA. It used to be done by the Veterans Administration. Again, you have to be considered a small business to your size standards by NAICS code. You have to have 51% owned and controlled by one or more veterans. Same as service disabled, you're going to have a service disability rating from the VA to apply for SDVOSB. A spouse or a permanent caregiver can assist in the management if the disability is real and you can still qualify for an SDVOSB. If you were previously qualified as a CVE, which was the VA's program, that automatically granted you certification. The self-certification is still active until the end of this year, but starting in January, you're going to have to be certified. So if you were only doing the self-certification in SAM, I would be hopping on it right away on going through the certification process through the SBA. So you don't miss out on any opportunities. The lovely thing on the SBA, they've been doing a wonderful job on turning around the certification applications for the VOSB and SDVOSB firms. It's been like 30 days, I think a lot of my clients have been experiencing. They're doing a wonderful job on turning around those applications. Again, if you need help on any of these certifications, the SBA and Apex Accelerators are here to help you. Yeah, here's that 1 year grace period, but again, it ends January 1. So I'd really be thinking about getting your application into the SBA's website.
Karen.
Yeah.
I was trying to focus on getting an answer for something, but we do have a question.
Sure.
Ashley Martins wants to know, they registered in SAM, but the SBA portion of the registration process has been disabled since December 2022. I assume she's referring to the DSBS, the Dynamic Small Business, the Dynamic Small Business Search. Yes. I tried accessing the SBA portion of the registration process multiple times over the past year. Is that going to be fixed anytime soon?
Oh, and we've been told by GSAs, they're working on it. But if you reach out to your Apex Accelerator, it pulls in to the Dynamic Small Business Search automatically information from SAM. But that search allows the Dynamic Small Business search engine allows you to enhance capabilities and add a lot more information about your firm. Reach out to your Apex Accelerator. We'll walk you through the process and help you add that information in there.
Okay. Also, there is another question about, is there a certification for veteran-owned small businesses?
Yes. And that's through the SBA process. But again, I would say that there is only the VA has set-asides for veteran-owned small businesses.
But there is a certification. They're asking, is there a certification? Yeah. Okay.
Is that it?
Michelle, I have the same issue. All the links send you to this information page is no longer available. Michelle, I'm not understanding what your question is. While you type greater clarity on that, I'm going to go to the next one. And I guess this is in reference to, this is in reference to the DSBS, the SBA's Dynamic Small Business Search. Our Apex rep said just to go to SAM and to keep trying.
No. There's a way for you to get into it on your own. The link in SAM right now, it hasn't been working for quite a while. And I know they're working getting it to work again, but I haven't seen it working.
Okay. So is this, and I'm going to...
If you're Apex Accelerator counselor, you can reach out. I can put my email in the chat. I've got an info sheet on, I've got instructions on how to access it that I give my clients. I can send that to you.
Can you send it out and also send it to us? Because I have a question to get clarity because someone emailed our office.
Yeah, I'd like to get it too, Karen.
Sure. I know previously, in order to access the Dynamic Small Business Search, to update it or to put information in the sections that populate, only way you can do that is to go through SAM, and you go through your registration. And I know if you go to the DSBS just now, if you go to the website, the only thing you can do is view your profile. Correct. But to actually update it, you would have to go in through SAM, go through your registration until you get to the portion where it's the points of contact. And then the SBA DSBS would pull up. So has that changed?
Yeah, no. There used to be a link in SAM where you could follow it, and it brought you to the link where you can update your DSBS profile. That link has not been working. So you have to go in and request access yourself. And I have instructions on how to do that. And they've recently even added a capability. I have instructions on how you can go in there and update your profile. There's a way to do it manually without that automatic link within SAM. That automatic link has not been working.
Okay, I didn't know there was an automatic link. So the way that you could do it, you can no longer do that. So if somebody were setting up their SAM registration and going through, once they get to their points of contact, they put that in, the SBA, the link for SBA, I think it would say SBA registration certification would pop up, and then it would take you to the DSBS. That no longer happened.
Yeah, that page is still there in the SAM registration, but the link no longer is working. And we've been told by GSA that they're working on it. It was working sporadically for a while, and now the last few months it hasn't been working at all. GSA is the one that does the SAM website. They said they're working on it. It hasn't been working, so we've got a workaround that we can give you. Okay,
so for those, and somebody just typed in the chat, that will also be sent out along with the presentation slides, that workaround. Thank you, Karen. And if you can also send that to Jill and I.
Sure, will do.
And last question, and then we'll let Karen go on for now. Jason Ragland says, I have one company that is registered in SAM, and I'm needing assistance with HubZone certification. I've started a new business and need assistance getting SAM registration and HubZone. 8A on both if it becomes available. So I guess this person is trying to register, trying to get their HubZone and 8A certification.
So this is me. I recommend reaching out to your Apex Accelerator counselor.
Yeah, but right now the 8A applications are on hold. So you can't do that right now, but you can work with Apex as it relates to HubZone certification.
Correct. And we can help you with your SAM, and we can show you where to mark yourself in as an SDB, small disadvantaged business.
Okay. All right. And that's it for now. Thank you.
Okay, this is a little thing. This is Apex Accelerator. I put this in here. If you are a client of Apex Accelerator, this is just a sample of the bid notices. So once you're in SAM, you can start bidding on a lot of the federal work. One of the notices and one of the utilizations also, you're going to see for your capability statement is a sources sought notice. So we were talking about how you're going to use your capability statement. A lot of times it's going to be in sources sought notices. Sources sought notices appear in SAM. It's the federal agency doing market research. They're wanting to find out, what kind of businesses out there that can do what I need done? Are there small businesses out there that can do what I need done? Are there service disabled veteran? Are there HubZone? Are there women owned? They're posting it out there. They want to hear from you if you have the capability and interest to do the work. It's an opportunity for you to communicate how amazing your company is and how you would be a good solution. Now, the federal government has a rule of 2. If they get enough responses from small businesses or from women-owned small business to their sources sought notices, when they do put it out for competition, it can be set aside for that socioeconomic category, your socioeconomic category. And because they've already heard, to me, if they've already heard about your business by responding to that sources sought notice, number 1, you're marketing to somebody buys what you have to sell. Number 2, you're helping eliminate some competition by hopefully getting it as a set aside for your socioeconomic category. So if you see a sources sought notice, have a good capability statement to response to the point that they're asking about in that notice. It isn't an opportunity for a contract right now, but it helps give you a leg up on a possible opportunity for a contract down the road if it comes out for bid. It's introducing your firm to somebody who buys what you have to sell. So make sure when you're doing it, your capability statement matches their requirements. It looks nice. You sound like you know what you're talking about. You've got the codes required. Always respond to a sources sought notice. Other uses of your capability statement. Again, it's that government marketing tool. You can have it in email or a PDF. Even if it's for sources sought notices, you can email it to folks. Again, no mass emails. Government buyers, their security systems on their emails are really sensitive. So use a PDF, don't mass email it. You're going to get blocked as a spammer. In the federal world, you're going to want to send it to small business specialists. That could include Jill and Shonda, but the small business specialists are actually employed by those federal agencies. Their job is to make sure those federal agencies meet their small business contracting goals. So you're doing your research on the agency and you're thinking, oh man, I'm a really good fit for the work that they do. A small business specialist is often a good point of contact. First point of contact, talking to them about your business, going in and trying to get your foot in the door. Contracting officers, those are also employees of the federal government whose job is to put contracts out for bid. They're not, though, necessarily always the end user of your product or service. And that's going back to the small business specialists, finding out who, like if you're a janitorial company, who are the folks, or facility maintenance, who are the folks I could talk to within your federal agency that might be the end user of my product or service. Some of the stuff that's not your contracting officer, but they are part of the decision process. But the small business specialist knows that agency, they're a good point of contact. Procurement center representatives, those are actually SBA employees who also advocate on behalf of small businesses. And then those individual buyers, those could be those end users, but those also in government land, in the federal space, they've got federal buying cards, credit cards. A lot of folks are able to purchase things up to like $10,000 with a credit card. So if that's your space, that smaller space, finding out who, again, small business specialists, talk to them, who are the small and buyers who might have a credit card that might want to have a small buy for $10,000 or less. Some of the folks you can market to. Now, yeah.
We have another question.
Sure.
Where would a firm go to find sources sought notifications?
Those are on sam.gov.
Okay. I know, even though somebody put it in the chat, I know not everybody's monitoring the chat and looking, but for the sake of all the participants, I said, let me pose the question.
Yeah, and if we have time, I can show you at the end how to find them in SAM. I can share my screen and show you how to find sources sought notices, but they are posted in sam.gov. Another notice that's posted in there where the federal government's doing a little bit of market research fishing. They're called RFIs, or requests for information. Different types of notices that aren't opportunities to bid on, but they're doing that market research.
And another add-on to that, a little plug, we are going to be doing a training, I believe next month, either in September or October. I don't have my notes with me, so at the end, Jill or Sharon, you can put it in the chat. But we're going to be doing a training on different notification types. So we'll be going over that. It'll either be September or I believe in September or October.
I'll look it up, Shonda. Give me a couple minutes.
And yeah, you can type it.
Yeah, and there's a way within sam.gov to just look for sources sought notices, which I teach a lot of my clients how to do.
Great, thank you.
So marketing to primes, if you're not going in and wanting to sell directly to the government agency, but you want to be a subcontractor, which frankly in the federal government space, a lot of federal procurements are really large, and getting started, your foot in the door as a subcontractor is a great way to get your foot in the door, get to understand how government does things, get to know folks. it's a good way to get started. So a lot of those prime contractors, they have their own small business offices, their small business liaison offices, whose job it is to find small business contractors to be subs for them. Because in the government space, if you've got, I think it's over $750,000 contract, they're going to require you to have subcontractors that are small or WSB. They're going to have subcontracting goals. So, if there's a prime that you think might be a good fit, go to their website and see, do they have a small business liaison office? Do they make you register as a vendor? Look for doing business with us at those large firms. A lot of those firms have their own vendor days where they do outreach and they want to meet small business contractors. They come to matchmaking events. These are other opportunities for you to network, get to know people, let them get to know your business and how amazing you are. Capability statement is just one tool. It's also those personal connections by attending those vendor days, networking opportunities, matchmaker events, and having your capability statements in hand, you can hand out to the folks to impress them how amazing you are at what you do. Hold on. That's kind of the end that I have on information. I put the information here from my team here in Central Ohio. Sharon Hopkins Snyder, our fearless leader, associate director. I have 3 other procurement specialists with me here in Central Ohio. I've got all our contact information, but this is by no means the end to our team. As you saw on our map, we have way more than that here in Ohio, and we are in every state across the country. And I'm going to stop sharing. Do you want me to share sam.gov and show them how to find sources sought notices?
Yes, we have enough time, plenty enough time, so I think that would be great.
All right, let me get my sam.gov up and I'll start sharing again. So here's sam.gov, the website we all know and love. The first place you want to go over here is contract opportunities. This brings you here. I never start my searches here. I always go here to advanced search. Again, someone was asking about grant opportunities. There's that link straight to grants.gov. But contract opportunities, I go to advanced search. And here's where I can really key in. So you're wanting to go to notice type right here. And here's your drop down. I won't go over all of them since you're going to be having a training on that later. But there you go. Sources sought. So right now there are 3,522. Not all of these may be active. So I'm going to go to dates, and I usually like to go to next 3 months. That's telling me they're wanting a response that's active now, that's due in the next 3 months. That brought us down to 900. So I might want to look again. I might want to look for stuff that's only in Ohio. So I'm going to go to place of performance. And I'm going to scroll this baby down to Ohio. Right now, there are 7. Now you can take it down even further. I'm going to get rid of Ohio. You can go to product or service information. You can type in your NAICS code. You can do set aside, looking for small business, women-owned small business, 8A, Hub Zone, all sorts of different things. I'm going to leave that blank right now. I'm going to do janitorial. So if you are a janitorial company, there are 4 sources sought notices across the country of opportunities for you to market yourself. And then you would just click. And this is work in the state of Washington. They're looking for information. Here's what they're looking for. No attachments, so you're going to want to look through here. This is what looking for someone to do year-round janitorial services at a district office of 6,400 square feet. You're going to respond. they want this, and this, I'd still respond with a capability statement on this baby. And showing that you've done work of that size, 6,400 square feet. But that's just kind of how you can go in and play around. I'm not going to go into any more detail because you're going to have a training here shortly on all those things, but always, always, always come here and tailor it to what you're looking for.
Great, thank you so much. And as Karen has just given a general, just a general, what do you want to call that? A
quickie overview, a sort of
general. Thank you. I'm at a loss for words. A little general overview of just what you can do just to search. I know Carol just typed in the chat that she uses some other filters, including published dates within the past week, and she checks opportunities twice a week. So yes, you can include many other filters to conduct searches depending on what you're looking for. So she just kind of gave a general, just kind of overview of what you need to do just to kind of get started in general, looking for sources sought notifications. But the beauty of it is you can work with your Apex counselors to get more information, how you can narrow down, because sometimes that search that Karen just showed us will yield us so many different types, but to narrow it down maybe for your specific industry, for a specific agency, your Apex counselors can help you do that. So there's another question. How do we stop from getting solicitations that don't pertain to our company? Andrea, are you referencing the bid match that Apex Accelerators has available to their clients? Is that what you're referring to? And if so, while she's doing that, yes. So maybe Karen, if you can explain to everyone, if there are those that aren't Apex clients, once they do sign up after they finish this webinar, what a bid match is, and then once they get it, Andrea wants to know how can she stop getting things that really don't pertain to her company. Okay,
so Apex Accelerators, our bid notices go out once a day of our bid match. So if you're getting Apex Accelerator bid match, work with your Apex counselor.
And what is a bid? What is the bid match?
I can bring up my presentation. Hold on. I had an example screen. Just give me a sec. I'm trying to find it in all my screens.
No, you're fine. We have plenty of time. Yeah.
Here we go. I found it. Right. I'm going to share my screen again. I'm getting all these pop-ups now. Give me a second. All right, come on. I don't want that. I don't. I'm like, for some reason, all these pop-ups are coming up on my screen. There we go. I'm going to use my finger. All right. That's what our bid notices look like. So if you're an Apex Accelerator client, you're going to get one a day. And this shows you, you work with us, we program it in, we talk to you, we put in the government codes that pertain to your business. We search SAM, DLAs, the DIBS board, other federal and web or other federal websites. There are other federal websites that procurements get posted, like Fed Connect and others. Those get searched. Our bid match, usually international, local, or blank. But when you go down to non-federal, that's where you're going to find all your state and local opportunities that match. You should only get one of these a day from us that are bid match. Now, you might get other emails from us that like opportunities to attend a training like today's. We'll email that out to our client base. If we find out about a matchmaking opportunity or a vendor day, we send that out to our clients. So you might get, there might be days you get more than one from us, but you should only get one bid match a day. For it to not have things that don't pertain to your business, work with your counselor. They're going to want to key it in. Oftentimes we started off, at least I do, I try to start it off fairly broad to take a look at what's working and not working. When you open up a bid notice from us, it'll always show you what keyword and code brought that bid notice to you. So if you notice you're getting a lot of junk pertaining to a certain keyword, then that's probably too broad. We need to add some modifiers and so on. One of the things we can't do is the smallest geographic search that we can do in our bid match is a state. So since we're Ohio, we'll put it in for only Ohio. The rub is it goes out and captures the word Ohio. So like here in the state of Ohio, we have some major buying offices, like for the DLA, the VA, the National Park Service. There are some major buying offices that are in Ohio. So if it pulls in, and because the buying office is in Ohio, you got to pay attention to where the place of performance is. And really, I don't know of any way to weed that out. It's just going to pull it in. That's my caveat. But if you're getting like a lot of NAICS codes are really, really broad. So, talk to your counselor about using the NAICS code with a modifying keyword or utilizing a product or service code to try to really hone it in on stuff that just pertains to you and work with. It's going to be a living, breathing process back and forth with your counselor to work with what keywords are working and which ones aren't.
Okay, yeah, so it's a combination of those codes, NAICS codes, and then also, is it also still PSC?
Yeah,
FSC codes?
PSC codes.
FSC codes.
We can utilize all sorts of codes and keywords.
Keywords.
Especially on the local government side, I like using a lot of keywords as well. And also if it's like a really broad NAICS code, I might say this NAICS code and just this one keyword, and that might help eliminate a lot of the junk on those NAICS codes that are really, really broad.
Awesome. Thank you. So you can continue to work with your counselor to get that.
We're here for the life of your business. We're here for, don't hesitate to reach out to your counselor. We want you to get we do our best to help you.
Awesome. You can also search by awards. So if I know some companies I work with in their industry and what they did, they set up a couple searches for specific awards. And maybe they wanted to be a sub to a prime. And so whenever award in a specific NAICS code, they set up a search for that.
Yep. Hey, Shonda and Karen.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, especially if the audience today is new to searching for opportunities, just to keep your expectations realistic, because the search engines that are available, whether it's SAM.gov or the Apex Accelerator, bid match, or any of the subscriptions that you can pay for, and there's a lot of them, NAICS codes are super broad.
Yeah.
So you're going to see opportunities that aren't a fit unless you have a very broad type of business. It does take time to go through the bids on a daily basis because it's an overwhelming amount. But your Apex Accelerator, when you meet with them, it's not going to be perfect. I don't think it'll likely ever be perfect for you, but it should get better as you're explaining to them what keywords to put in, because we have an awful lot of IT companies, for example, in the Columbus district, and there's different types of IT. If you just tell us IT professional services, you're going to get absolutely everything in IT. Right. But if you tell us that you do SharePoint, or you tell us that you do more staff augmentation or cybersecurity or AI, whatever it is you do, then we can put that into your keyword search and it'll narrow it down.
Or like if you're a distributor in IT, but you only have agreements with certain brands, tell us the brands.
Yes.
Great. Yep.
Yes.
And we'll put the brand names in there. So you only get notices that pertain to the brands that you sell. You know,
because I'm seeing in the chat, hey, I don't see anything that's a fit. That is not unusual, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not. You just have to, it takes a while to get the bid, like the search engines to where it's beneficial unless you have a really broad business.
Yeah, so that's why you've really got to communicate with your Apex Accelerator counselor. Work with them. They will try to work with you on honing it in and making it something that will capture what you do. And another warning on NAICS codes that I have had this a few times. We put NAICS codes in there trying to base on what your business is, but sometimes the government buyers will attach a NAICS code to a procurement that you're wondering why they put that NAICS code on there. And that's where those product awards come in, because I just had that recently. We found an opportunity, exactly what this does, ties into the NAICS code, but the government buyer attached totally different NAICS code to it.
Yeah.
We kind of scratched our heads over, but there it was. So.
Great. Thank you, Jill, for bringing that up. That was great feedback. So just in short, it's a trial and error process.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a trial and error, and sometimes it could be a little difficult if you really have a specific niche area. So just continue to work with your counselors to get that honed in to see what works for you. And again, it can take some time. So it could just be trial and error until you get it right. There are some questions that are coming in that we want to kind of finish up with these. We still have a little bit of time. Jasmine wants to know, do you recommend bidding on contract opportunities in your specific state?
Well, if that's got to be up to you, right? I mean, if it fits your business, and you think you can do the project, bid on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easier to get a job. If you're doing a service, is it easier for you to do a job in the state versus going like to Washington and doing janitorial service? That would be really hard. You'd have to get a place to stay. I mean, So,
and Karen, I just want to add to when you're first getting started, like a lot of companies ask if we have templates for proposals.
Nope.
And we do not. I know that SBA doesn't, because every industry is so different. Some of this journey that you're on when you're getting started in government contracting, submit a couple of proposals and then ask for a debrief afterwards. That's an actual process that's in the Federal Acquisition Regulation. And these are for federal contracts. I know that you asked about state. I'm not sure if they provide debriefs with state contracting, but you can ask for feedback. When you're new, you just don't know. So contracting officers are required to provide feedback if you request a debrief, I believe, within 5 days of award. So and you have contracting officers that are really cognizant and want to provide that business development to businesses, and you have some that'll say, oh, your pricing was off and that's it, even though you can probably respond. Yeah, you need a little bit more feedback than that. So you get better at it as you go, and no one knows your business better than you do. And it's skill, like proposal writing and proposal submission, RFIs or RFQs. There's skills that you get better at over time. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Jill. No, the feedback is great. And we're doing these webinars, and we recognize that there are 73 people on here, and there are different stages and phases of their business. Some are just getting started. Some have been in business a couple years. Some may be more seasoned. So it just, different things work at different times. But as Jill said, you get better as you go along. So don't get frustrated, don't get upset. It's a learning process. I'm going to go through these questions. I wanted to add to Jasmine's, as far as bidding on contracts in other states. Also, you want to measure what your capability and your capacity and also your financial capability is. So you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. I know we're in a day and age, and depending on what you do, you could, do something in another state, and you physically don't have to be there. It could be an IT service. But if you have to physically go there, work with your counselor. Maybe you just want to set it up for the state of Ohio or the contiguous states to Ohio, those that are surrounding Ohio. But you just want to be careful to see what you're capable of doing and not try to overdo it.
I think the worst thing that you could do too is go after a contract that you and get it and not be able to perform because you didn't.
Absolutely, Karen. Jennifer wants to know, do you recommend that we reach out to an Apex counselor to get started after getting registered on SAM?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, not after. I recommend you reach out to an Apex counselor before you get registered on SAM.
If you're already in SAM and you're like, oh, did I do it right? Reach out to your Apex Accelerator and they'll review your registration with you.
And I'm sure, Karen, you mentioned at the beginning, like this is a free service. Mm-hmm. Like it's paid for by your taxpayer dollars. It's a grant from the Department of Defense, funding from the Ohio Department of Development. So we're the government, we're here to help type of thing that everybody just loves to hear. But I'm sure the link to become a client is in the chat. The only thing that Apex asks is that you report any contract awards that you receive, because that is how they keep their funding.
Or if we helped you get a certification and helped you with the paperwork.
All right.
Let us know that you got that you were certified. And we help people with their certifications all the time. Let us know that, yeah, you got it, because then we celebrate too.
They track success stories. Yeah, absolutely. So if they're able to help you, with that.
And if you're a success story, we also will promote your business and our success stories, and we send it out to folks.
Awesome. Eugene wants to know, so my industry is exterior cleaning services, pressure washing, window cleaning. Will the Apex SVA office help with with ideas to expand services of exterior cleaning?
That's a business decision on your part. And I would probably, if you're looking for ways to expand, there are a lot of considerations there. I would work with an SBDC or a SCORE to talk about what's feasible for you financially, equipment knowledge-wise, and coming up with that expansion plan for your business. And then come to us.
Okay. Netta wants to know, is there somewhere I can get my business to get the emails? Are you referring to the bid match? In order to get set up for the bid match so that you can get emails as it relates to whatever the criteria you set up for your search, then once you register with PTAC Apex as a client, then they'll have your email and then that will be sent to you directly. I don't believe you're referring to our trainings. Also, once you're an Apex client, you will get emails about the training. So once you sign up with your Apex counselor, they'll have your email. Once you get your bid match set up, then you'll start getting those daily emails. Steve is in Hamilton County. Is Billy Grill still covering Hamilton County? So Billy Grill, do you have something with the Apex counselors? Do you have Billy's contact information?
Yeah, it is on the map that is in this presentation. So when they get the presentation, and they'll have contact information, phone numbers, and emails of all the Apex Accelerator counselors currently working in the state of Ohio.
Okay, so Billy Grill's covering Hamilton County, and you will.
Sharon, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say you can also go to apex.ohio.edu and under who we are, there's a list of everybody in the service area. So you will see their telephone number, as well as you can send them a direct email from the website. and that should help you as well.
But I'd say if you're not registered as a client, the best way to get our services to register, which is also at apex.ohio.edu. There's a new client registration link at the top of the page. Register, and then the client responsible for your area will reach out to you and get you started. Thank you, Don.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen and Sharon. What
Netta, I see
do?
That you're a client. You don't recall getting any emails. I can look you up.
Okay. And Shantarian, what can I do if they put the wrong code in your bid match? They can always change those. They can change them, modify them. They can add, they can take away, add new ones. So Jasmine, I'm in the transportation industry. Yeah, whatever industry you're in, that bid match, they can specify it based on the codes, NAICS codes, PSC, FSC codes, and your keywords for whatever industry you're in. I'm trying to find out who's your Apex counselor. All right, they'll get the map for that. Is there any way that we all can have access to this recording? Yes, afterward, Sharon, can you put the link where they can access the recording and where they can go? It's gonna be on the Apex, the OU Apex website, and all of the trainings that we've done for this government contracting series. If you were a part of the matchmaker, all of those webinars were recorded. You can access all those, I think, for the past 2 years, maybe. So that link is going to be put in the chat. Fast and neat services thing. I'm a client. Okay, so Karen, you're checking into that. Are there any additional questions while anybody's typing? Thank you so much, Karen. This was great. Always great to have good information, especially for those that are just getting started, or maybe you've been trying to do federal government contracting and it's not really working. So, all right, here's the link to the Ohio University Apex website where you can go to find the link to this recording. It takes about a week for them to finalize it, get it uploaded. So check next week and it should be there. You can go there now and all of the things that we've previously done are housed there. Also the PowerPoints, yes, the PowerPoints will also be there as well. Ashley wants to know, please also provide the link for the DSBS for the sam.gov. Karen, can you send that out? I think you said you had workaround instructions.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, Shauna.
Can you send it out to all the participants?
I'll work with Sharon on doing that, yes.
Okay, all right. All right, so the video is under tools and links. So when you visit this link for the Apex Ohio University website, go under tools and links and you'll find the video, the links to the video presentations. And then also you will find a link for the actual all right. So I want to give a disclaimer. Again, thank you so much, Karen. Always great to have wonderful information. And once people are getting registered in SAM, kind of what to do next. And
it's a fire hose. It's a fire hose. So work with your Apex Accelerator and we'll try to help navigate.
And you continually build. I'm trying to go
and
back
also, yeah, it's a fire hose, but also stay engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get a lot of calls from firms that were Apex clients, and just because the information can be overwhelming. And so I know that all of you have to run your business, so that can sometimes take precedence, but Apex accelerators can help keep you focused too. So if you know you have an appointment with them, they always give you homework. It's all about, you're going to feel like you're in school again. But that's part of it, because it's also homework to submit a proposal. So follow up with them, stay engaged, because they're your cheerleaders. And at SBA, full disclosure, I was an Apex Accelerator counselor for many years before I started with SBA. but part of it is, you know, when you're frustrated, you can call Apex. You can be angry with the process with Apex, but you can't be angry with your contracting officer, for example. So we try and help you stay encouraged through this.
Right. Great suggestions, great advice, Jill. I was also Apex counselor. Back then it was PTAC. And so sometimes if you're just getting started to government contracting, a lot of times I will recommend, it may not be the best place for you to start doing business with the federal government. What we were talking about today are processes and things that you need if you're doing business the federal government. Sometimes it could be best to start at the local level, cities, counties, or starting with the state, municipalities. Apex can also assist with that. We also do have trainings for those. So as you're working with your counselor, you want to see what's the best place for you to start. So maybe there are opportunities at the federal government, but if you're just getting started, just with your business, it may be a little bit more information, and it may be a little bit more steps for you to do, and it may be a little bit more complicated. So you may want to start to make it a little easier at the local and state levels, and then kind of go and grow from there. So you just work with your counselor to see what works best.
Yep. Sometimes government isn't the right space for you at all.
That is also a fact, yes.
And depending on the type of business you have, what type of service you offer, what type of product you sell, the government may not be a market for you either, but we'll help you figure that out.
Right. So that's a sad thing. You don't want to waste, I had somebody call our office from another state. You don't want to waste time trying to sell your product or service to a government or a government entity that's not buying what you're selling. Maybe they may buy it at a local or state level, not really at the federal government. You're spinning your wheels trying to market to all these federal agencies, or maybe a federal agency does buy, but you're not marketing to the right federal agencies. We get emails all the time. We're in a district office. We don't purchase goods or services. So, you know, spending a lot of time emailing all the SBA 68 offices, the district offices, is a waste of time because they're not going to buy what you sell. But if you work with Apex, they can help you to identify who are your potential customers and clients and the best way to market to them. If you liked today's webinar, which hopefully you found this to be very beneficial and extremely helpful, there's going to be more. Next month, we do a government contracting series with Apex. We're so grateful that we have a partnership with them. So next month, we are going to be doing marketing to the federal government, understanding notice types. So somebody asked today about sources sought, and you want to find out about the different notice types. RFPs, RFQs, what do those stand for? How do I search for those? September 13th at 10 a.m. we'll be doing another webinar. And then I think we're doing another one September, is it 25th? I don't have my notebook with me.
Yeah,
so,
I did get the September 13th. I'm on my home computer, so I don't have the next one.
I know Sharon will have it. Jill and I are not. I'm in the office today and I forgot my notebook, but I do believe September, we may only be doing one.
I think we have 2 in October.
2 in October.
Yeah, September 13, we are doing marketing to the federal government, understanding notice types. October 11, we are doing marketing to federal government, how to find federal customers. And October 25, we are doing a marketing to the federal government, introducing the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization and Small Business Liaison Offices.
Awesome. So we have some great stuff coming up. Thank you, Sharon. Takes teamwork to make the dream work. We plan these and we try to do it with you in mind to say, hey, what would you want to, what would be beneficial to you now? Of course, Again, when you go to the OU website and you go look up that training, don't just look for today's training. Again, that won't be posted for about another week, but look at all the wonderful training that we've done over the past couple years. You'll find some great things that are there, wonderful topics. And again, also the PowerPoint. There's a link for the PowerPoint there. There's also some wonderful panel discussions where we have small businesses that have done government contracting. They have been successful. They have certifications, wonderful panel discussions. Check out those previously recorded trainings. They are a great treasure trove of information that can be beneficial to you. So hopefully you can join us in the future next month on the 13th. And then going forward, we do something every month. Sometimes we may do 2 webinars within the month, but we will send something out to you. I think it is early. I think that's all of the questions we've gone through. Again, thank you so much, Karen, for your presentation. I always love the interactive. She went to a couple websites to show you a couple things. So again, the webinar, the link will be posted in about a week for this. And then also the slides, the link for the slides will also be on the website. I think that is it. Thank you so much, Sharon Hopkins. Of course, Karen, for your great presentation. Love all the things you do. Sharon Hopkins, the director of the OU Apex Accelerator, our wonderful partners. Thank you, Jill. And thank you, small businesses, for joining today. If we have some things are coming through, if we have a schedule conflict and you can't make it to the live webinar, but you sign up, we will always get the recordings and trainings of the PowerPoint presentation via email. I don't know if they're always sent out via email, but you can always check the website because we will always post them to the website. And again, it takes about a week. So if you're unable to join, or if you register and something happens, you join, but you can't stay the entire time, check out the website for the presentation because it'll be posted, both the link to the recording and then the link for the PowerPoint presentation. Thanks so much. I will be getting registered with Apex. Yes, if you are not registered, we want you to get registered after you finish this webinar. Very appreciative of this information and your support of small businesses. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us today. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time. Looking forward to you joining us next month. Everybody have a great day. I think the weather's going to be nice. And go sign up to be an Apex client if you haven't done so. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Shonda.
Thank you.